Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
I'm excited.
Yes, so we're here today to talk about a upcoming podcast entitled Her Journey that we will be doing. And so we're just here to give you a little bit more background about it.
Yes.
So this is a podcast, a platform for women to share their stories of triumphs, challenges, fears, all of the successes, things that they've overcome in order to motivate, inspire, and uplift other women to kind of have a pathway to let them know
Yes.
they're not alone,
Mm-hmm.
that they're seen, they're loved, they're heard. And this, I'm in hopes of this doing exactly that. You know what I mean? So this is something I call my good friend, girlfriend, sister. We've known each other for 30 years.
30 years or so.
And so I shared this vision with her about me wanting to do this and what this means to me after as myself going through a lot of things in silence
Yes.
in my life and things that I've gone through. And now being at a place that, I'm healed from certain things and, I can now talk out
Yes.
loud about those things that I felt like I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought like there has to be other women that are also, not telling their stories,
Right.
not giving themselves permission to do that in order to help other people. So, what better way than to create a platform?
Mm-hmm.
Because you and I have had conversations on the phone hours where we feel like we just had a podcast, right? Because we talked for 2 hours. And so now let's bring it to the mass. Let's now take it from private to public, so that we could, bless other people.
Yeah.
And she was right on board. She was like, all right, what do we have to do? And so, I honor you for that because there are many people that I know, but you have the heartbeat of the vision of this podcast. You have always inspired me and be like, it's your time. It's your time to
It
get
is
out there.
time.
Like people don't know
Mm-hmm.
the things that you share with me. It's time to now bring that to public. So that gave me the courage to be like, yes, I want to do this. And
Yes.
so these questions, these questions that we're going to be having conversation with these
Mm-hmm.
women, came to me at like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I woke up and I got a pen and I wrote these questions down and I'm like, okay, I have to do something with this. Like it was like God gave me these questions. Now I need to share it. And so again, I called you. It's like I got these questions.
I know.
And so we're here. We're excited. Today is our first time doing this.
First time.
We're
Partners in
anxious.
crime.
We're excited, but we're going to do this anyways.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Well, I think it's important that we share what it is that we go through to help other women.
Yes.
And I think that's how we grow
Yes.
as a society and as women, because we go through so much on our own, and then the world tries to isolate us, which hinders us from that healing and evolving. But if we take it out of that and put it out in the open, it has no control over us and it can't hold us back.
Right.
And that way we're able to use what we've gone through as a tool to step up and move on to something else. And I learned that from you so well. So I'm really excited about this and how we go through different things, but at the same time, we still need to share with one another and not feel we're so isolated, in that we can make it, we can be successful, we can overcome the obstacles that life seems to throw at us left and right all the time. So I'm really excited about us doing this.
Exactly.
And being able to share our stories.
Yeah, and to create that place where women feel safe.
Yes.
They feel they're not judged.
Yes,
they feel
no
they can be transparent no matter where they are in their healing process, right? Because we're all in different chapters of our healing. So this is not, we're not trying to make it feel like, you don't have this place where you can feel safe, so that you can be loved, seen, and heard. We all want to be heard.
Yes.
And so this is just the opportunity for us to unite even stronger as sisters, and just create that place for us. So the title, we came up with, her journey. And so how that kind of came about, that also came to me. And so I was like, okay, what do these letters stand for? So as I began to just kind of meditate and prayed about those, I got the word healing, evolving, and redefining. So
Which
now
is
it's
what
just
a
like,
journey is.
absolutely. A journey is all of those things, right? And so as we heal as women and become healthy and get in our good places and our sound mind, we start to evolve, right?
Yes.
And so as we evolve, we gradually start changing how we see ourselves, the lenses that we see ourselves, how we think about ourselves, how we make decisions, which then causes us to then redefine our lives, right? To
Yes.
re-examine, reevaluate our old patterns of thinking, and now take this new mindset of a new way of thinking.
Yes.
From a healed version of ourselves, not from that depleted or.
Yes.
So now we empower ourselves from a healed version of ourselves. And so,
That's so
that's
important.
how her journey came
Yeah.
about. And the hopes is that women will catch the fire.
Yes.
And realize that and give other women permission to tell their stories and not be shame or afraid to share it,
right.
and to help other people along the way.
Because we've all made mistakes, we've all done things.
Yep.
But we have to give ourselves permission to have grace on our own, because we take on everything from everybody else.
Yes.
And you and I both know, I have 3 children, you have 3 children. We take
Adult
on our
children.
Adult children.
Yes.
Adult children.
Yep.
That's an oxymoron within itself. But we take on everybody else's issues, and we have to be okay to let them have their own, and then we have to step into our own healing.
Yes.
And evolve within ourselves
Yep.
as women, even
Yep.
as we get older as women.
Yes.
And change and grow, and we look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago,
Yeah.
even 2 years ago, and that's okay. It's important that we grow and move on.
Absolutely.
And grow within ourselves. And so I'm really excited about that part, because we have to be able to grow past where we are.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We have to be able to do that.
Yes.
And as scary as it may be, because I'm gonna go back in the bed, crawl in the bed, and cover my head, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I want to do it.
Yes.
So I'm excited about.
We are doing it. We are here talking in these
Watch
mics.
out, we're
It's
about
happening.
to do it now.
It's already doing, and I
Yes.
could not have chosen a better person to do it with me. So I thank you for taking this ride with me.
As always, where she goes, I will go. Let me tell you, one of the few people that I will follow.
Yes.
But because you've encouraged me so much, like I said, with you and one of your sons, your son Nicholas, I watched you through that, but I've seen you blossom. My God, the progress that you made, and I saw you change and grow, and it just is amazing. And I'm so excited to be able to share that with women and people that have children that may have those needs. And you should be on a platform someplace, sitting in front of Congress, to make changes to this, honestly, because that's how powerful it was to me in my life to watch you go through that and grow.
Yeah.
So that's really important to me. So I'm really excited about this whole thing.
Yes.
So let's get down into some of the nitty-gritty of this, shall we?
We shall.
So can you tell me what love is to you?
Oh, great question. So love is selfless. Love is self-care. Love is forgiving. Love is kind. Love is handling yourself with care and giving yourself grace when you have made a mistake. So a lot of times we like to beat up on ourselves, but we need to give grace to ourselves. Like we will give it to others before we give it to ourselves. So I think it's equally as important to give it to yourself. I think that love is trusting even after you've been disappointed, right? So, we won't get into that, but today, just yesterday, I shared with you on the way here, I had a disappointment.
Yes.
But I'm still pushing forward.
Yes.
And I'm still trusting the process, right? Love is connections, people, places, things.
Yeah.
It's laughter. So I think when I think of love, I think of all of those components
I like what you
of
said
love.
about it's self-care, because I know
Hmm.
we hear that a lot here today
Yeah,
in society today. We hear so much about women and self-care, and it's not selfish to take care of yourself,
absolutely.
because like in a plane, if you can't put your mask on, you can't do
Hmm.
any good to anybody else.
Right.
But we as women especially, we are notorious for trying to fix everybody else. So that to
Yeah.
me is really, I like that about love is taking care of yourself and giving grace to
Hmm.
yourself,
Hmm.
you know.
Because right as we get, as you continue to talk to me, I always say that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
So if you don't fill your cup,
Mm-hmm.
I can't then pour into your cup.
Yep,
Hmm.
that's true.
Yeah.
And then what is just some of the greatest challenges that you've had in your life?
Well, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier in your conversation when you brought up my son,
Yes.
Nicholas. So Nicholas is the youngest of my three adult children.
Hmm.
Nicholas is today 30 years old. He is my young man that has autism. So just going through the whole journey of discovering that he had autism at a young age, knowing that something was wrong, even though sometimes the doctors were, he'll be okay. He's the youngest. He will, everybody's doing everything for him. So he's not talking, but my instinct as a mother was
Yes.
like, this is different.
Something's different.
Something is
Hmm.
else. So I even overseeded the doctors and just went and got a referral for him,
Hmm.
and got him into Children's Hospital here in Boston, Mass, and he got evaluated. And I can remember the day we were called to come in the office and sit down, and we got the diagnosis of autism. And I remember riding home with my then husband,
Hmm.
and just riding in silence
Mm.
and just
Wow.
getting home and just feeling like devastated because I'm like, I've never heard of this word before, Nicholas.
Yep.
Um, why did this happen to me? Right? We
Hmm.
always want to know why. Why did
Hmm.
this happen to me? You could think like I know other people that's gonna
Yes.
happen to. People give away their babies. People leave them on doorsteps. They
Hmm.
don't want them. Here I am being a good mom, considering myself a
Yep.
good person.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
like, I didn't ask for this,
Yeah.
and just being angry even at God, having a conversation with him, like
Mm.
mad, like why me?
That's
Until
important to share that too.
one
I
day
appreciate
that
that.
Nicholas was in the kitchen. I was making dinner. He was playing with his cars and rolling them back and forth, being repetitive as a lot of children with autism are. And for some reason, I looked over and he was smiling. He was happy, and it just changed my view. I was like, okay, God. You gave this young man to me. At that time, he's a baby, a toddler. I said, so you're gonna have to give me the strength to raise him. Show me what to do with him. I have no idea what to do. I began to research the word autism. I began to go to the library. I began to read any information I could possibly
Hmm.
find, books, um, to find out what autism was. I went to seminars. New York. I went up to Western Mass and attended seminars to learn what to do.
Yes.
And so I found a holistic doctor in Hingham, Mass, and just began to change diets. Turned my basement then into a learning center. And every night, Nicholas and I would go down there. At this time, he was saying no words, So you hear this devastation. He's not going to be able to do this. He's not going to be able to do that. And I would go down there with flashcards, puzzles, silly hats, like painting one eye white because they don't have a lot of attention. So trying to get
Right.
him to look at me, and he did a lot of hand flapping,
Hmm.
and it was just down there, and I'm just like doing all these cards, and it seemed like it's being non-effective. And I can remember one day, particularly, that he was downstairs in the basement. He started flapping, and something was just like flat with him. And I just started flapping my hands. And all of a sudden he stopped and he looked at me like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my God, he's looking at me. And I started clapping. I was cheering. I was like, oh my God. And it was like earning his trust to now I'm going to enter
Yes.
your world since you can't
Hmm.
enter mine. And I'm going to
Wow.
bridge that
Oh my.
so that you can now trust me. And then we started doing these cards, the flashcards, sight words, and wooden puzzles, the 1 to 10 wooden puzzles.
Yes.
But that day, that was the victory. Like nothing happened after that day, just for me cheering him. We came upstairs. I was super excited that he looked at me. I didn't give it was 30 seconds. I was like, you, and then we went down the following night and I started doing the puzzles, and he just started catching on to the sight words and he would point. I would say, where is bus or where's cat? And he would start doing it. I made a shelf in the basement that I put things really high that I knew he loved. And so he had to give me like a truck. He had to give me a sound, even though he wasn't saying truck. It would, and I was like, yes, you said truck. And I would give it to him.
Yes.
I was clapping. I mean, we were down there for months. I think about 3 or 4 months into it, he started doing the sight words. So just being persistent, just being patient, not giving up. Because after 3 months, you're going to be like, okay, no. And just not giving up on him and just joining his world. When he wanted to flap, we flapped. And so he started just, words just started coming out. He said, mommy. And I was just so excited. And so he has a lot of words. And then we started putting 3-word phrases together. So he could do I want
Wow.
juice and I want. So it was just life changing for him and I.
Yes.
And so, I'm overwhelmed. I'm trying to find the right words to say about that experience. So that was one of the biggest challenges and blessings at the same time.
I remember this. I remember when you found out and how distant you were and how hurt. But
Yeah.
I also remember when you started to have the victories and that
Yep.
shift changed,
Yep.
which is why I admire you like nobody else. I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
like, you were sending his blood to this place and that place, and you were
Yep.
going places. And I just was like, oh my God, when you talk about the fact that you were chosen by
Yeah.
God to be able to do this.
Yeah.
It really is, because I've never seen anybody be what's the word I'm looking for? Be an advocate as much as you did. You advocated for your
I did.
child.
Yes.
You took the chances. You stepped out of complete comfort zone and you focused on him. And that within itself is just so amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited to know you because of that. So
Yeah.
I saw you grow out of that like
Yeah.
like a butterfly. Like
Yeah.
you just completely changed, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. And
Thank you.
I know him now and what
Yep.
he has become because of you. But that's also because you've learned to love yourself and allow yourself to grow and change
Yeah.
and let go in other ways, because now he's 30.
He's 30 years old today. He lives in a city in Mass, and he
Yeah.
is in a residential setting, and he loves it there. He comes home to visit, but he's also ready to go back when it's time to go
Yeah.
back. He
That's
is
courage.
independent in his own right,
That's
and he
courage.
lives life excellent on his level.
On his level.
So it's not just about my level, it's his level. He lives life excellent on his level. He's happy. He has a contagious smile that he laughs from his belly. He makes everybody laugh. His smile brights up a room. He comes in like, he's neat. He'll wash the dishes. Don't put any dishes in your sink because Nicholas will wash them. But I've also learned, he's taught me to look at life differently.
Yeah.
To appreciate the small thing, to enjoy nature. He's taught me to celebrate him for who he is and the blessing that he brings to our family. But he's also taught me to celebrate what he can do. Because a lot of my focus was like, you go to his, even when he was in school, when you go to his parent teacher conferences or whatever, they like to say, oh, he's on the 3rd grade reading level. He can't do this. He'll never do this. And I even had joined some support groups, and I stopped doing that because I felt more depressed after leaving some of them, because everybody was sitting around and talking about what their kids couldn't do. And I'm like, no, like what? I'm like, what can he do?
Yeah.
Let's focus on that. So the little victories of getting excited because Nicholas learned how to tie his shoe at probably 4 or 5 when he should have. It was like a victory to me, and I celebrated him. And I had downstairs in that basement that I tell you about, we had pom poms down there. I was a cheerleader. I had hats and silly toys to let him know, like, I see you, and
Yeah.
that you can trust me. And so I think that we just bridged a bond down in
Yeah.
that basement, and so that was wonderful. So
That's the
yeah,
only
so
reason I'm so excited for this, because there's so many parents out there that don't recognize that
yeah,
and don't have a clue how to reach out to that, and are
yeah,
going to this struggle and feel very alone.
yep,
So
yeah,
I'm really proud of you, and I'm
hmm
so happy that you
yeah,
have
yeah,
that we've created this platform for that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that is really a major thing to me,
yeah,
and I saw you
yeah.
grow
From
and
that, I did,
evolve
yeah,
in that.
yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the last thing I would say about that is also being respectful of Nicholas. And because even sometimes during family functions or family trips,
Yeah.
like, we wouldn't go. And people
Mm-hmm.
would be like, or sometimes I didn't go to church because
Mm-hmm.
I found that it wasn't always welcoming of
Mm-hmm.
children with special
Oh
needs. And I
man.
feel like they need to come up with a plan to,
Yes.
so people
Yes.
aren't coming. You're missing a whole community of people
Mm-hmm.
because they don't feel welcome.
Welcome.
And so there were times when I was like, we're not going to go to this family function or that because it was overwhelming for Nicholas. He can't do a lot of crowds.
Right.
So I would be like, just bring me a plate back. Bring us a
Mm-hmm.
plate back.
Yeah.
And just being okay
And
at
being
home with
okay
him
with
and
that.
not being at
Yeah.
home like, oh, we missed out. No, you and
Mm-hmm.
I, he loves music. Oh, music is his favorite. You put that on and he's good. So we played music and we did things that I wasn't begrudging that I needed to stay
Yes.
home because
Yeah.
I knew that taking him would be overwhelming for him.
Right.
And so why put him through that?
Mm-hmm.
So, and even being, making the decision to let him grow up and go into this residential setting. And I had a lot of people that would say, why are you doing that? Like, you should just take care of him. Like, is he going to be right? Are they going to treat him right? I'm a researcher. So I research these homes.
Mm-hmm.
I transitioned him in there. He visited. I show up as a parent. You
Yes.
cannot
Yes.
just put your child in these places and
No.
never show up. They think that he has no one. So
Mm-hmm.
I show up, I do surprise visits. They love me at the place that he's at. They call
Yes.
me Ma. He has he has guardian angels there. So it's a great working relationship. But you as a parent have to become involved in that process
Yes.
and not drop them
Really
off and
important.
never go
Mm-hmm.
see them. So he is in an awesome place. He's happy. And so his life is full. My life is full.
Yeah.
And when I see him, it's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Takes courage too.
yeah, because he doesn't have the language to
Yes.
tell me if something, but because Nicholas and I have bonded in such a way,
Yeah.
I can feel his spirit. I know when
Mm-hmm.
something is off. So you gotta trust that. So I'm glad that I
Absolutely.
gave him permission to live life independently
Yeah.
and be here to see that process happen and not wait till something's happened to me and just, oh, now he has to go into one of these
Right.
facilities. But he knows I'm here, partnered with them,
Mm-hmm.
and we get to do this life event together.
Together.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
gosh. That is, I just love that. I just love that.
yeah.
I tell you, I just can't get enough of that.
Yes.
That's just
So
awesome.
everybody knows Nicholas.
Yes. So what is your definition of success?
So success, right? So first when I think about success, I think, okay, I have my family is
Yeah.
good, finances or in order.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, um, just my job, doing what I
Yes.
love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think that success is bigger than that for me. Success to me is a mindset. It's about
Yes.
continual growth. It's about
Mm-hmm.
continual development. It's about learning something new. It's about this is a journey, not a destination. It's about seasons, right? So,
Yes.
depending on what season you're in, the success or the goal for that success might be different. So, I don't have a one word definition for
Right.
success. I think success is a platform,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, whatever season you're in, then you may choose that as your success. But
Right.
overall, it's a mindset for me. And I believe in self development and continual growth, and I will never
Yeah.
arrive. I will always be on the journey.
Always be on a journey. And I think it's really important to recognize when you're in a different season too.
Yep.
Sometimes we want to get stuck in a season and I don't want to leave it, or we're stuck in a place. But you
Yeah.
have to recognize when your season is over,
Yep.
let it go and move on, because you need that to be able to grow,
Yeah.
to continue to grow as a person.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
So in a few words, this healing, evolving, and redefining. So how do you describe that for yourself in just a few words, if you can?
For myself, when I think of those three words, healing, evolving, and redefining, I think of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that we're all here for a purpose.
Absolutely.
We're all here on assignment, and
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us spend over half our lifetime trying to figure out what that is, right?
Oh,
And we're always in pursuit of that. Um, and so I think it is pivotal when we discover what that is and then walk it out.
right.
Not necessarily that we're walking it out perfect, but we're progressing towards it. So I think of purpose when I think of encourager. I
Yes.
think that most people who know me would say that about me.
Yes, absolutely.
That I've been called to encourage.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter always said, she's just like, you can find the good in
Anything.
anything or anybody.
Yes.
It's like you just find it good, and I say, hey, I'm wired like this, and this is who I am.
Yeah.
So I just like to see people become the best versions of themselves.
Yes.
Because I've had to work to become the best version of
Mm-hmm.
myself. So I believe that it can be done because I've done it. So it's not like something that I not know that hasn't happened.
Right. Right.
So I'm a big encourager. So if you are around me, you're gonna feel encouraged. If my daughter's like, we go to the grocery store, I'm the person who will be like, "How do you pronounce your name?" If I see your name tag and I don't know
Right.
it, she'll be like, "Do you have to talk to everybody?" Yes, I
Yes.
do, because I want to leave people feeling better in my presence
Yes.
than before they came into my presence. So I feel like I'm a big encourager. I feel like when I think of these words, I feel like a work in progress. Again, when I talked about not arriving, just this is a journey. So I'm a continual work in progress. And I'm excited about that because I never feel like I'm too big to learn something,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I'm too old that somebody younger than me can't teach me something.
Mm-hmm.
So just continual learning. I
Yeah.
think of my last word I think of is transformation.
Oh, yeah.
So as I transform, through the things I do for healing, for evolving, for redefining myself, and as I transform my life, I give other people
Right.
permission. So as I like to say, as I shine my light, I give other people and create a pathway for others to also shine their light and not be afraid.
Mm.
And so I think of all of those things when I think of those three
I
words.
think that's why this is so important, so
Yeah.
that we can help others to heal themselves
Mm-hmm.
and evolve and redefine,
Yep.
because we need this.
Yes.
We need this.
Mm-hmm.
We can look back and be like, if this had been 10, 15 years ago, where would we be?
Yeah.
But we need this. We
Yep.
really do, as women,
Yes.
to help move ourselves along in today's society,
Yeah.
to share with one another and help each other along, to heal,
Mm-hmm.
and then evolve and grow and
Yes.
redefine. And you
Mm-hmm.
can redefine several times. You don't have to get stuck. You can redefine
Absolutely.
anytime.
Yep.
And that's important, and that's okay.
Yep.
And give ourselves permission to be okay
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And
So,
just to create sisterhood and
yes.
not be petty and just
Yes.
finding the bad in each other, but
Right. But the
just,
goodness.
and you know what, and also respecting that we're all called to something different.
Something
And
different.
so when we collectively put all those things
Mm-hmm.
together, that's goodness, instead of
Yes.
being jealous. Oh, well, you could
Mm-hmm.
do this, I can't. No,
No.
you know what? I'm not good at that. You are.
You are.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's come together and
It
collaborate.
takes all of us to really, it takes several different things to bake a cake. You
Yep.
know,
I
everybody
I
can't
love
be
that
flour,
analogy.
everybody can't be an egg, everybody can't be the oil.
Yep.
But it takes all of us to come together to create this beautiful thing. And
Absolutely.
that's what we're working towards. And that's what I believe that this is going to do. And
Yep.
I'm really, really
Yes.
excited about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So am I.
So I think this is really wonderful. I hope that we have been able to establish and set a foundation for women
Mm-hmm.
to feel comfortable to come and say what they feel,
Yes.
to express themselves and not feel judged, not
Mm-hmm.
feel that we're isolating them or that we're going to go back and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that this is what we are establishing, a very safe place for them to share their stories
Mm-hmm.
and to encourage them, that
Mm-hmm.
this is something that we want to continue. We want to hear other people's stories. We
Yeah.
want to know what you've gone through and how you've gone through it. But we want to also know how you came through it because that's what's really important.
Yes, that's a
That's
heartbeat.
how we
Mm-hmm.
that's how we encourage one another.
Yeah.
This is how I made it through and you can do it too.
Yes. I also think that, like you said, we want to know the details of that
Mm-hmm.
heart, because a lot of times people will say, I overcame these challenges, but they won't get into the meat of how. And
Yes.
that's where the lessons and the
Mm-hmm.
meat. So I believe we will create that space for women to have that opportunity to give us the meat of the
Yes.
story. We are so dedicated to seeing this through. We will be inviting guests
Yes.
onto this platform. They will be sharing their stories. We will have an email address, I believe, set up so that if people want to get in contact with us, if you think of somebody that this platform fits, please let us know and we can reach out to that person.
Yes.
And we would love to have them as a guest. Also, we've taken it even further because we realize everyone is not in the same place. So there may be people who want to tell their story. They don't want to be seen on camera. They don't
Right.
want their voice recognized. So we are also creating a method of being able to tell your story, writing your story to us
Right.
in the form of an email or however you want to send it in.
Mm-hmm.
And we will become the voice to your
Right.
story and we will share your story. So
Or
if you're out
questions.
there and you have a story
Mm-hmm.
and you want it to be told, we would love for you to be a guest, but fear not. If you don't want to be a guest, we will be the voice to your story and you can write into us
Right.
about your story, because that's how committed we are to having your story told.
And building
So
a
that it
safe
will,
place.
and that's also a beginning of healing for you, because when you put words to it,
Yes.
when you put it out in the atmosphere, you release it,
Mm-hmm.
like it can no longer hold you hostage.
Yes.
So we want you to get the story out in person, by email,
However
anywhere
you want.
possible, because we are definitely here to create a community of sisterhood and to love on our sisters and let them know you are loved, seen, and heard. And this is a safe place that you could do that.
And
So
we're here for the long haul.
yes, so we're excited about
Yes,
what's to come.
very excited.
So stay tuned. We're coming for you.
We're coming.